try and challenge myself that I do not take any combination, on its face value, that this is the wealth giving combination, that I combine or conjunct two planets. And people say, okay, this is the wealth giving combination. One planet is this, second planet is this. So it's give a wealth. I don't take it in that way. The reason is I will always apply Deshkal Patra theory. Desh means which city, country, village this person or a Jataka, he or she belongs to. Kal means what kind of a paristhiti or time he is going through. And Patra means the Jataka himself or herself. So basically, if you combine this theory, you will be able to understand the nitty-gritties of Jyotisha, and the simplest one to the difficult combination you can easily decode with this theory of Deshkal Patra. Don't forget to apply this theory, because this always supersedes any of the combination. If one book is written on certain combination, my opinion is that without applying Deshkal Patra, you cannot take one rule just by a core concept and you blindly apply the same rule on all the charts in the world. This is my opinion only. I may be wrong, but this is the way I do basically my practice. So I apply Deshkal Patra. I gave you or quoted one example of people being born at the same time, basically the same time, but the environment is same. Okay, why? The reason is when people born in different environment, they have a different conditioning. Their parents will give them a particular knowledge about particular Shastra or upbringing or education, everything. Every parent is different. So the kind of conditioning a Jataka takes, it always supersedes, and the kind of timing a certain Jataka was born. The person was born when his parent, maybe a mother or father or maybe both of them, was running Shani Sadesati. For the other kid who was born at the same time, his parents may not be running Sadesati. Or maybe they are not in Kantak Shani Dhaiya, Astam Shani Dhaiya, right? So now, the first parent, who they have a Sadesati, there will be a dominance, some kind of a dominance in the family itself, even for that person who was born in the family. Sadesati effect will be there, definitely, for sure. I give you second example. 5 kids born in a certain Muhurta, and all the 5 kids born in Gandamul Nakshatra. For one person or 2 person, it will be a different, a ball game altogether, a different lifestyle. For 3 people, will be a different ball game altogether. Maybe one person, maybe one kid will have an autism problem because he was born in Gandamul Nakshatra dosh. I have written, by the way, this thing also in one of the book of Astalakshmi and autism books also. So basically, one person, a Gandamul Nakshatra may give an immediate effect. When a person is born, within 3-4 years, a parent would come to know that their children is not able to speak, or their hands and eye coordination is not properly basically synced. Okay, so the brain is not working with the sensory organ. And for the other kid, it may happen he's able to speak nicely, but when he basically at the juncture of having his family, or he will start his career, maybe then he will struggle. For third person, maybe his parents is so wealthy that this Gandamul Nakshatra nullify for that kid or children. It doesn't basically work for him. So understand, the one Kundali of any Jatakam does not belong to him. This Kundali belongs to all of his family member. This is the concept I believe in, because everyone is associated through Rinanubandh, because that is the reason why certain soul has taken a birth in particular family, because he or she has taken a birth to basically square up some kind of a karma, past life karma. So one kundali cannot give a guarantee that this particular kundali belongs to a certain person. This kundali always have an influence on other people also, and same holds true vice versa, that other people kundali will also play a role on jataka himself or herself. Where I quoted an example of Sade Sati, where parents are having a Sade Sati. So their effect, whether positive or negative, will be seen or manifested by the child himself. It could be anything. It could be in the form of maybe a health issue, maybe something else. So always apply a theory of Deshkal Patra before we move on to the business yoga combination, because this always supersedes the Kundali. Because Kundali is what? Kundali is all about combination of planets, combination of Nakshatras, combination of certain planet moving into certain Rashis, certain houses, and then their dispositor going in different houses. We see the Vimshotri Dasha. So basically, even though everything is same for 4 or 5 kids, but the lifestyle, okay, the karma effect will be different for everyone. Even this theory applies on twins child also. Kundali doesn't matter. What matters is the past life karma. Because the past life karma, they have brought into this life through in the form of prarabdha. Okay. So that's the reason why I emphasize on Deshkal Patra. Never forget this theory. If you are practicing astrology, I always give more emphasis on this. This is basically my opinion. So this is something, my view on Deshkal Patra. And if you have any question, you can ask me, and let's move on to rest of the presentation, and let's start combination of business yoga. So let's see. And basically, I have presented the business yoga combination through some real life case studies. So let's see, how we see and what are the combination, and then we can have a question answer session also.
Sir, just one thing, like on Deshkal Patra. So how to look that like Deshkal Patra, whether if somebody is coming to us, whether we should first try to understand his situation, like family background or maybe educational background, or like how to like incorporate this particular theory before looking at the chart?
Yeah, that's your question has an answer. So basically, that's the way we should go. Always check paristhiti, means time, the environment, and understand his psychology. Understand his basically what kind of a background he has. I'm not talking about the background in terms of something else. I'm talking about he may be troubled with some job related issues, or money, or a child related issues, or a marital related issues. Try and understand first of all from each and every angle, and then move on to the Kundali thing. So yes, you are absolutely right. This is the first concept we should understand, from which background this person is coming. Because sometimes what happens, even if you tell, okay, this dosha you have, other person may not believe in this theory, and he will right away outrightly reject your idea and say, no, someone told me that I don't have this dosha. So sometimes it's difficult to make someone convinced and understand that karma theory. Some people also outrightly reject the karma theory. They don't believe. So first understand, because if you directly jump onto the Kundali analysis, then you may feel after 15-20 minutes that he has a different mindset. So again, you have to start from all over scratch. So Deshkal Patra theory is that first try and understand his mindset. Try and understand what kind of a background he's coming. So after only then you should judging the horoscope.
Okay, sir. Good point, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone have any question on Deshkal Patra before we move on to the second slide?
And also, like I read somewhere or I heard something like if a child is born till 4 years or 4 to 7 years, his karma are not that visible, like not manifested much. Like he is governed by karma of his parents, mostly till 7 years, some time frame.
So basically, no, it's basically combination of everything. It's a combination of everything. When I say combination means the child, his own karma from past, and the karma of the kid's parent also. It's basically, as I told you, na, Renanuban, there is a reason why some soul is trying to come in particular family. There is a reason. Okay, so parents must have some pending karma of their child who is about to born or he has just born. So you cannot take it, in isolation, that and you cannot take 4 years or 8 years or 12 years. We should not judge it in that way, because the child is basically having the effect of the past life karma of their parents. No, it's not like that. It's a combination of each and everything. It's a combination, basically.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so based on my case studies, I believe that I think 3rd, 7th, and 10th house are the most important houses for the to check the business yoga or the business combination. And basically, I have put it in the order like 3rd, 7th, 10th. Somewhere I feel that 3rd house is really, really important. It is even important rather than 7th and 10th, because we always look for the 7th, 7th, 7th for the business. But according to me, 3rd house will take over or supersede much, and it's give its influences much rather than 7th and 10th. I'll tell you the reason. The reason is, see, the 7th house related with parakram, as I have written. If a jataka, him or himself or herself, is not able to show or exhibit his parakram, the valor, the courage, it's a little difficult to have his or her own small scale business or a large scale business, because we cannot define the business criteria. Maybe for what we call as a small scale, maybe it's a big for him. Maybe he has to arrange that money to even open a small scale business. So parakram is the risk taking ability. The risk taking capacity comes from the 3rd house. So my opinion is that 3rd house is very important, and I'll tell you the why in the upcoming slides. 3rd house will always take over. Always. 3rd house, the bulk of 3rd house should be higher as compared to other houses. But yes, 3rd, 7th, 10th somewhere are work in sync. If they complement each other, nothing like it. If they're half ball or something is very equal and they are supporting each other, they are complementing each other. So it is icing on a cake. So 3rd house is important. Yes, of course, if it is working relationship with 7th and 10th, it's basically a nicer combination. So house wise, I personally feel 3rd, 7th, and 10th. 7th, everyone knows, for the partnership and business, and 7th is basically the 7th house is 4th house away from 7th house. So it's a sukh sthan for 7th house. And 7th house is anyways is even if you look for jobs, we cannot discourage or cannot demean the importance of 10th house. So 10th house will always be there. Okay, so this is 3 houses. The importance of 3 houses. Now let's move on to the other slide. So 3rd house, basically in Kalpurush Kundli, we know it is governed by Buddha Grah, means Mercury, and the Karaka of the 3rd house is Mangal Grah, which gives basically Parakram, the valor, the courage. And 7th house in Kalpurush Kundli is governed by Shukra Grah, means where we have the Libra sign. Libra sign basically belongs to business. And Saturn, we of course cannot deny the fact that Saturn is important, whether be it business or job. So 10th house role, that's how it becomes more important. So now I have basically bifurcated 2 houses. So in 3 Shaddai houses, we have 3 houses, 3, 6, and 11. And in Upache houses, we have 10th house. So what I'm trying to emphasize here, that if 3rd and 10th complement each other, okay, after checking the bhav and after checking the karka, if 3rd and 10th complement each other, so it is basically can give you a business yoga, and we will see in upcoming charts or upcoming slides. So I believe that in Kishadai houses, 3rd house is important for the business yoga, and for in Upache houses category, 10th houses is also very important.